Aquarius, welcome to your monthly sidereal forecast for June 2015. My name is Athen. Let's go ahead and start this chart off here for you for the beginning of the month here, June 2nd. We have a full moon in Scorpio in your 10th house, which is all about illuminating this career, work, and public stuff. You've had your ruler here since around October of last year, and so hopefully you guys have been putting in that hard work, commitment, maybe even assuming some more responsibility in the work side of things. So now an illumination here of the 10th house for you to see very clearly these 10th house matters, because the full moon always illuminates. It can also be a culmination point of the past 6 months for those of you who've been setting intentions or working hard in that 10th house area. Can certainly be a high time for that as well. But in either case, seeing it very clearly, and it's also seeing your 4th house very clearly, where you've had a lot of this energy start to shift into here from the end of May. You had a new moon that happened right on the cusp between your 3rd house and your 4th house. So maybe there's been some new beginnings relating to home, family, past roots, and sentiments. But in either case, that area is certainly being activated very strongly this month, which I'll speak about. So it's always this balancing act too between the domestic side of life and the domestic side of life down here, and then the work side of life, home and work kind of situation, balancing both areas, which I think you've been accustomed to since last month, because there's a lot of this opposition energy at that time. But having that balanced perspective, seeing both areas clearly, will be a nice segue into the beginning of this month, especially relating to the home sector, like I said, which is really going to be activated for you. But all of you personally, your 10th house is very activated, because we're talking about your ruler. In your guys' personal charts, you probably have a lot of aspects from this Saturn personally, so I think it's going to be definitely both for you. Now, around the 4th, we've got Venus shifting into your 4th house, your 6th house on the 4th, around the 4th. And so there's a shift here, and it's all about these opportunities that have been taking place with your day-to-day environment. You've had Jupiter transiting your 6th house, which is about the routine, the health, the diet, making sure everything's taken care of on that practical level, and helping others improve as well. So there's been opportunities there, maybe through groups, because Jupiter rules your 11th, maybe also improving your financial side of life. It's like you've been improving both your group sector and the financial side of life with Jupiter in your 6th as well. And so now with Venus joining the mix, you can really enjoy these improvements, the self-improvement side of things, and that's where a lot of these opportunities are coming for you. We also have a nice aspect with Uranus, which I'll talk about. But this is where the opportunities are for you this month, so I'd really focus on that, improving self, improving those areas relating to finances, the groups, the networks, friends. Also with Venus too, improving home life, the domestic side of things, which she rules this 4th house, and also the philosophical side of life. I think that's a big part of it too. I think already, because it's Jupiter, your philosophy has been improving and changing over almost the past year. And so that's going to be highlighted for you this month in particular, with now the ruler of your 9th, Venus, going into the 6th. So in either case, enjoy these things, because Venus is about that enjoyment, and those opportunities are coming through Jupiter here. Now, on the 11th, we have Mercury going station direct after a few weeks of his retrograde movement of your 4th house. So towards the end of last month in May, when Mercury was retrograde, since then, in this first couple weeks of this month, there's been a lot of learning and a lot of reflection taking place in regards to the domestic, in regards to your past, in regards to the home and family side of life. So whatever that's been for you that you've been learning about, hopefully through applying it, you really want to apply it, during this Mercury retrograde. Then when he goes direct, you're much more aware, right? You're much more keen. So I think there's going to be an understanding and a shift. There's a lot of understanding here about 4th house for you. And the 11th is going to be no exception to that. So from the 11th, whatever insights there are, applying that slowly, because he has to gain his momentum. But from the 11th onward, start to put that energy into the 4th house on that practical level. I think it's relating to your enjoyment in life, which is your 5th house ruled by Mercury, and then the deeper side of life. All of that stuff maybe you've been reflecting on too, how you're expressing yourself, what enjoyment means to you, what the deeper side of life truly means, and that's going to start to move forward for you after that reflective time, especially in the emotional side of life. So do that. That'll be a nice energy for you. Now, from the 11th through the 18th, so this middle part of the month, we've got Mars and the Sun conjunct. So this is a very, very fiery energy. Now for you Aquarians, Mars and the Sun actually want to be up here at the top of your chart. So they're down here at the bottom. And so what that means is things are certainly improving. They're on their upward trajectory now for the next few months as they start to move forward. So you're noticing your vital life force is certainly improving. I think your energy you're noticing improving. Things at work are improving. You've been noticing this towards the end of May as well. Communications are improving. Your relationships are improving. And so now, because these planets rule those parts of your chart, so now with these two planets coming together, it's very passionate about these things and very fiery. And it's all relating to your emotions. And again, it's all relating to these fourth house matters. So whatever it is you're excited about, whatever it is you're motivated about in regards to the fourth house, that's great. Keep everything nice and balanced. Keep everything nice and long term, because like I said, it's this 6-month time period for the Sun to get to the top of the chart here in your 10th house, which can certainly be a culmination of a lot of these new beginnings, which are shaping up for you here in the fourth house this month. But take it slow, take it easy. Mars is on fire. It's very passionate, so we want to, kind of cool it down. Your Mars is already kind of cooled down, which can make it a little bit irritated. Not that it has to be irritating, but it can. So I'm just putting it out there. So if you are feeling that, it just means that, this Mars, you want to tone it down, keep it nice and easy, go with the flow, think long term, be patient with that energy, which I think you learned a lot about last month when Mars opposed up to your ruler. But if you find that middle path, then you can certainly move forward with whatever these goals or intentions are around the fourth house for you this month. So I think around the 14th there, middle part of the month, you'll certainly feel that. Then we have a new moon happening right next to both of these on the 16th, which I'll speak on here in just a minute. But on the 12th, we've got Neptune going retrograde. And that's going to be in your first house, so I think that's going to be more personal for you Aquarians than anybody else. You've had Neptune in your first house, which is about your identity, finding out that there's nothing really tangible and practical. It's not about who we are in a mental sense. It's about the deeper aspects of who we are and self-discovery on that level, and going with the flow in general in your whole life, because the first house, it's the whole chart, rules the whole chart, it's your whole life. So you've been learning to go with the flow in general. So another reflective time. This is an ongoing energy. So now for the next 6 months, reflect on how to release, how to trust, how to flow in the process, especially relating to your identity, which is this first house sort of energy. Then Chiron's going to go retrograde on the 24th of this month, further reflecting on that first house. And I think you guys are healing. I think there's this understanding you're healing your identity, but it's all by, trusting, surrendering, all of this Neptunian stuff, having compassion, not needing to see all the details of things, and just trusting your intuition. So I think you might notice a shift there, which is nice too, because it kind of, a retrograde of Neptune, it kind of flips the energy of it a little bit. So things might actually start to become clear, and you'll be able to start to understand it, because retrogrades are always a sort of conceptual understanding of things. So I think you guys will probably understand more and more about this first house related stuff for you, which is nice. So a shift there around the middle part of the month, and then on the 24th when Chiron goes retrograde. Now Jupiter trines up to Uranus, your secondary ruler, here from the 15th to the 28th. So this is the second half of this month, all about these opportunities with that 6th house that I was talking about. And this is actually the third of this aspect. So this is the final one. We usually have 3 aspects between these slow movers. So the final one, the first one happened in September of last year. And then the next one happened in March, and now the final one's happening this month. So it's all about opportunities to grow, to improve, to expand, to develop your crafts, your skills, helping others improve, being of service. That's where all these opportunities are coming from, and where they're assisting you. And this is all because you guys went through, especially in March, there was a lot of this second house activity where you guys were releasing a lot of old, things relating to your sense of self-worth, the material side of life perhaps, the enjoyment of life, all this second house stuff, and you've gained a newfound sense of freedom since then, which is really nice. So channel that freedom, this newfound excitement which is your secondary ruler too in the second house of your sense of self-worth, just really coming up to new heights and new levels where like the money or the financial or the material side of things no longer binding you. You're now free. Funnel all of that into, I mean, that's where the support's coming from. So it can mean, like maybe financial support. It can also be like, found sense of self-worth, which is then supporting maybe some of the service work. It's very unique to all of you individually, but generally that's what it is. So in either case, from the 15th to the 28th, see those opportunities, move forward with those sixth house matters. This is also supporting you with your groups because Jupiter rules your 11th, and with the financial side of things because Jupiter automatically rules your second house anyways. So very, very nice. Could be sudden things. Look for those and take these opportunities, but make something of them because Jupiter by himself is just opportunities. We want to ground those opportunities and make them into a reality, which you Aquarians know all about anyways with your ruler Saturn. So very nice there, second half of the month. Then on the 16th, though, middle part of the month, like I was saying, we're going to have this new moon. And this is going to be the new moon in that fourth house. So you already had a new moon very close to the third and fourth. So there was some new insights, some new ideas, some new concepts, perhaps relating to home and stuff that came about, middle part of May. Middle part of May. And so now you have another almost new beginning in the fourth house, but it's very different. Okay, it's very different because you've learned a lot since then with that Mercury retrograde. You've had Mars here for a while. Mars is now conjuncting up to this new moon in the fourth, so it's a very, very motivational new moon. But again, because Mars is at the bottom of the chart for you, it is this slow and steady thing where its patience is important, and finding that middle path with the Mars energy, which is moving forward with your intents, and not too aggressively and not too somberly, you might say. And that can be all relating to new ideas about home, past, new family members, things of this nature. So utilize that, obviously, and reflect on this around the 16th. But it's always, a new moon is always not clear. It's not that we know exactly what the new beginning is, but I think with Mars there, we are going to have some intentions. I think we are going to be motivated. We're going to have some goals relating to it. So just take it nice and slow, though, because the new moon is a time of reflection, going within, thinking about, and oftentimes our ideas and plans change during the new moon, which is great. But so just be adaptive and be malleable in the whole situation. Then when the next few days unfold and the moon starts to fill up, the sun and Mars are going to go into your fifth house. The sun goes into the fifth on the 20th, around the 20th, and then around the 23rd, Mars goes here. So by this point, by the 20th to the 23rd, that's certainly where I think you're going to be very clear about, more clear maybe about what more specifically these intentions are about home and family or past, that you can certainly put energy into for this last, week and a half of this month and into July. And this can be, again, new beginnings shaping up for the next 6 months for you here. But now with your sun and Mars, I think things are certainly starting to improve. As you can see, they're moving up in the chart where they like to be. So your self-expression is improving, your motivation, the work, all that stuff I was mentioning, continuing to improve. And now here in the fifth house, your sun is in a friendly house, first of all. So I think your self-expression is certainly going to be highlighted towards the end of this month. I think your motivation is going to be aimed towards a lot of those fifth house matters to express yourself, to create. And again, this is all about prana. It's about fun. It's about enjoyment. And I think you'll notice that shift to tap into the more playful side and expressive side and creative side of life here from the 20th onward. And this is where you're going to have a new moon, new beginnings here relating to these things next month in July. Now, towards the very end of this month, we've got Venus conjuncting up to Jupiter. It's actually technically on the 1st of July, but you're going to be feeling this the last few days of the month in the 6th house. Like I was saying, all those opportunities with growth, improvement, helping others improve, new opportunities with that. So it's very nice too because, see, it's Venus. And so Venus rules your 4th house of home. So this is where I think you're feeling very optimistic, very expansive about these 4th house related things, and improving them and working at them in a very grounded way. And again, your philosophy and all that is expanding too. So it's a good optimistic energy for those things. and again, ground them, make them into something. But in either case, I think you can enjoy all those sixth house things, especially the second half of this month and at the very end when we have that nice conjunction. So Aquarius, I hope you guys have a nice month. If you are new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringthezodiac.com. You can click the link down below, or if you'd like a personal session, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.